Hi, in this second video related to Manim, we are going to learn about animations. We know that there are a lot of animations that Manim provides us with, and covering all of them in a video is not possible. So we will only cover some basic good to know animations in this, and you can definitely go to the documentation and read about the other animations. So I have listed out some animations which we are going to cover one by one. I have created this animations demo scene class inside this animations.py file. First of all, I've created a square with side length 2. The border will be of green color. The color of the square fill will be a type of red color with opacity 0.5. And I am going to not just self.add sq, but I am going to play the create animation of square. So we can pass any M object to this create animation. Then we are waiting for 0.5 seconds, and then I am uncreating the square. So the addition of square to the scene and then the removal of square from the scene, both are going to be in an animated fashion. Let's have a look. So that is what fade in and fade out animations, create and uncreate do. Now let's use the next set of animations, that is fade in and fade out. So this is going to fade in and fade out. And just like any other animation, we can also create the time it takes for the animation to complete by passing the second argument, which is run underscore time, and let's say 3 seconds. So we'll see that the uncreate is going to take longer now. Okay, moving on. So we've covered this create, uncreate, fade in and fade out. There is one more animation which is draw borders then fill. So I'm going to replace create with draw borders and fill. So it is going to first create the borders and then going to fill. Okay, moving on. Okay, so if let's say we have one more circle with the name of C, and yeah, let's make it green color, and then say that it is going to reside next to the square, and I'm saying self.play create C. Okay, let's also get rid of this time because it's taking a lot of time to both create the video and play the video. So now we'll see the square will first appear, then it will get disappeared, and then we'll see a circle getting created. What if we want to run multiple animations together? So the play method that we have on the scene class, it can take multiple animations. So I will move the instantiation of the circle above, and then I'll cut this animation from here and club it with this particular animation. So now the draw, border, then fill and the create animations are going to run simultaneously. Yeah. So that is the way to run multiple animations at once. Scale animation we already saw in the previous video, but just for the sake of completion, let's do it here again. Self.play, and I'm going to say let's scale the circle. C.animate.scale, and let's reduce the size to let's say 75%. So we'll have to give 3/4 here. So the circle shrinks. Now if we have to restore the size of the circle back to the previous size, we'll again make use of the scale animation, but we now need to take into account that whatever factor that we are going to give here will be applied to the current size of the circle and not the original size of the circle. So initially, if the size was, let's say, 100%, we reduced it to 75% here. Okay. And now we need to scale it up back from 75% to 100%. So it is going to be a rise of 33.33%, right? Because we need to increase it by 25 percentage points, and 25 is 33.33% of 75. So we can say, let's make it 4 by 3. And let's get rid of these other animations. Or let's keep them, no issues. Yeah. So scale animation we've also covered. Now let's see what wiggle animation does. For this, I'm going to get rid of some animations. I'm going to remove these two just to save some time. And then we also don't need these scale animations for now. Okay, so we've created these. Now let's say self.play wiggle. Let's wiggle the circle. And we'll also have a look at apply wave right now. Self.play apply wave, and let's apply that wave to square. And there is no point of like running them one after the other. Let's just run them together to save some more time. And let's see what appears. So we are expecting circle to wiggle and square to have a wave sort of a thing. Yeah, so that is what wiggle and wave do. Okay. Yeah, so the next animation is spin from nothing. It is sort of when you want your M object to appear. So we can replace create by spin in from nothing. So you saw how circle appeared. Let's have a look again. This is what spin in from nothing does. Now we'll see how to rotate an object. So once we have all these animations in place, let's remove this to save time. And let's say we want to rotate the square. So we'll say self.play rotate the square, and we want it to rotate by 90 degrees, that is pi by 2, or let's make it 45 degrees, pi by 4. And we'll see what it looks like. So the circle rotated by 90 degrees towards the left, and if we put negative here, then of course it's going to rotate in the other direction. Okay, so there is one more parameter which rotate takes, that is about point. So square, let's move it to, okay, let's move it to the coordinates -2, that means towards the left side of the screen, and then 1, that is, okay, let's keep the y-axis to be 0 and the z-axis needs to be 0 because we're dealing with 2D objects for now. And now let's rotate the square with about point is equal to origin. So if we don't give about point, the M object is going to rotate about itself, like it's not going to change its position on the scene, it will just rotate the way where it is right now. But now that we've given origin, the square is going to rotate around the origin. And it rotated by 90 degrees, 45 degrees, because we gave pi by 4. Let's get rid of this. It's taking a little bit of time every time. We can simply do self.add for now. Let's add square and circle, and let's make it 2 pi so that it will make a full rotation around the origin. Yeah. And origin is not the only option. The way we gave coordinates to the move to function, we can give coordinates of the point around which we want our square to move. So let's say 2, 2, 0, and let's see what difference does it make. So 2, 2, 0 is going to be somewhere here at this, because 2 points or 2 steps in the right direction from the origin and 2 steps in the up direction. So around this point the square is going to rotate. Let's have a look again. Yeah. The next transformation or the animation is transform. So we have a square. Let's not add circle to the scene. We already have a square, and let's also remove the rotate animation for now. Now we want that the circle or the square that we have should transform into a circle. So we can say self.play transform. We want to transform square to the circle, and let's see what it looks like. So it's always going to give us a smooth animation, and even if they are different in sizes, so let's say that the circle that we created, let's get rid of the radius parameter so that the default radius is 1. Now the circle is going to be smaller and square is going to be larger because the length side length is 2. Yeah. Now one important thing to note when we use the transform is that let's wait for a second and then let's remove the square that we had and then again add the square. So since we transformed the square to become a circle and then we removed the square and then we re-add the square to the scene, it is going to appear as a circle because this transformation is going to persist even after we remove the M object and then add it again to the scene. So even though we are adding the square at the very end, but we'll see a circle getting added. We remove it. Okay, we need to wait after we remove it so that we can actually see the square reappearing. We remove it, we wait for a second. Let's put a wait after adding also so that we can actually see. Yeah, so it appeared as a circle even though we had it as a square. So one way in which we can preserve the state of an M object even after it is transformed is we can say square dot save state. So it is going to save the state of the square, whatever state it was at this point of time. And we are making a transformation after this. So the saved state is not going to have an impact of the transformation. So if we want the square to appear again, we can say square dot restore, and let's see if it works. Yeah, so because we restored it to a state before transformation, we were able to see the square getting added again. So that was all the content that I had planned for this video. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.